Hello and welcome. You're watching the news. I'm Gargi Rawat. Fresh violence broke out in Manipur. 3 people are killed in an attack. Also, the Congress and BJP sharpen their strategies for Madhya Pradesh. But will Priyanka Gandhi Vadra contest from Varanasi in 2024? Find out what the Congress has to say. Let's take a look at the headlines we're tracking. Manipur's fragile peace shattered after 2 weeks with the brutal killing of 3 village volunteers in an attack on their village in the Naga-Dominated Ukhrul district. This as Kuki groups have threatened a highway blockade. Himachal Chief Minister Ukhrul says they will declare the massive damage caused by heavy rains as a state calamity. This as rescue work continues in different parts of the state. Migrant labourers living in relief camps are now planning to leave Himachal. The Congress repeats its Karnataka model in Madhya Pradesh, making 5 promises which include freebies and alleging 50% commission against the government. While the BJP goes into hyper-election mode, announcing its first list and summoning MLAs for campaigning well before election dates are even declared. Jammu and Kashmir facing a massive drug epidemic as drugs brought in from Pakistan being used to fund terrorism, but with more and more addicts in the region. The police says this is a bigger challenge than terrorism right now. ISRO successfully completes the deboosting maneuver with the Chandrayaan-3's Vikram lander, bringing it into a closer orbit around the moon. ISRO also shares a video of the moon taken by the lander. India's first state-of-the-art 3D printed post office opens in Bengaluru today, built in a record 45 days. The Prime Minister says this embodies the spirit of self-reliant India. Our top story now. After 2 weeks of relative peace, 3 people were killed in Manipur's Naga-Dominated Ukhrul district. Heavy gunfire broke out between 2 communities in the Thawai village, where 3 villagers were killed. There were volunteers who were protecting the village. This comes at a time when tribal groups have also threatened to reimpose a key national highway blockade. NDTV's Ratnadeep Chaudhary reports on the fresh challenges for the government.
Fresh killings in Manipur after 2 weeks of peace. The site, Thawai village in the Ukhrul district, about 35 kilometers away from Imphal. The police said heavy gunfire broke out between 2 communities this morning, killing 3 villagers. The firing stopped only after security forces reached the area. Ukhrul is a Naga-dominated district in the hill region of Manipur, but Thawai village is near Litan, which is in the foothills, very close to the border with the valley region. Now in this area you have the Kuki villages, which are not very far from the Meitei villages, and the Nagas also live here. The concern is that if similar type of violence starts happening in the Naga dominated areas in future, then the crisis in Manipur might only become more complex. 2 weeks ago, 3 persons were killed in the Bishnupur district. The fresh violence has come even as 10 MLAs from the Kuki-Zomi tribe have written this letter to Union Home Minister Amit Shah, alleging a selective blockade in the valley area dominated by the Meiteis, preventing essential items from reaching the hills. Tribal groups are now threatening a blockade of their own.
We've been leading from the front. The department has been working day and night to make sure somehow, whether through any circumstances, to make sure that the medicines and all the essential commodities reach at wherever it's needed.
The supply chain of essential commodities from Imphal Valley towards the hill areas, particularly Kangpokpi, Churchandpur, Tingnopal and More, has been stalled by the Meitei mob led by the Mera Paibis. In view of this, the Kotus felt that this prescriptive policy to placate one community over other by the central government needs reconsideration.
Even as centre has claimed that the Manipur situation is improving, fresh challenges remain. In Guwahati, Ratnadeep Chaudhary for NDTV.
Let's now focus on the situation in Himachal Pradesh. The Chief Minister has announced that they will declare this latest disaster as a state disaster. He also said that they've asked the centre to declare it a national calamity. The death toll due to the rainfall in these recent days has now reached 70, while the NDRF continues with its search and rescue operations after the several landslides that have taken place across the state and in Shimla as well. With many houses in danger, many Shimla residents are in fact now living in shelters, and as for the migrant labourers, as they're faced with no work and no means to earn money, they are now beginning to leave the state. NDTV's Parimal brings us this ground report.
फिलहाल हम शिमला के शिव मंदिर के पास हैं, जहां पर रिलीफ और रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन को अंजाम दिया जा रहा है। आप देखिए, लगातार जब 15 अगस्त का वाकया हुआ है उसके बाद मंदिर का नामो निशान तो नहीं है, लेकिन उसी दिन से एनडीआरएफ हो, एसडीआरएफ हो, आर्मी हो या लोकल होमगार्ड के जवान हो, वो यहाँ पर कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि किसी तरीके से जो यहाँ पर जिन लोगों के दबे होने की आशंका है उनको तलाशा जा सके।
जी सर, झुग्गी था। हाँ, गिर गया हूँ।
आपका गिर गया? जी। तो बेघर
जी, जी सर, गिर गया। हम लोग बेघर हो गए तो यहाँ पे जो यहाँ के कमेटी मेंबर है वो बोले यहाँ पे रहो, पूरी सुविधा मिलेगा।
अब पता नहीं घर का कैसे जोड़ के फिर बनाएंगे,
तो बनने लायक है नहीं जिस हालत में।
आपका क्या हुआ, गिर गया या डेंजर में चला गया?
डेंजर में है सर।
डेंजर में है, गिरा नहीं?
नहीं, अभी गिरा नहीं है, डेंजर में है, दरारे है। अब वहाँ से यहाँ पर जो कमेटी के आदमी है वहाँ हमको यहाँ पर बोले कि से चलो, वहाँ पर हम बिस्तर देते हैं, वहीं पर खाना पीना सब वहीं पर मिलेगा, वहीं रहना है।
हम सर घर से बेघर हो गए। मैं जो बिल्डिंग में रहता वो गिर गया, सारा सामान भी बह गया। तो मैं यहाँ जा रहे थे ऊपर बस स्टैंड, तो बोले कि ये यहाँ आ जाओ सारे आदमी, मोहल्ला में हम बहुत दिन से रह रहे हैं इस मोहल्ले में।
चिंता तो आई है सर कि रात को मकान गिर जाए तो सारे लोग दब के मर जाएंगे, तो चिंता नहीं है। आए प्रदेश में कमाने के लिए, फिर इतना तो ज़्यादा ही दुख है।
हमारे आंखों के सामने ही वहाँ पर ना स्लेटर हाउस, पहले पेड़ गिरा, उसके बाद में स्लेटर हाउस गिरा, फिर उसके बाद में एक पेड़ गिरा। तो ये बहुत हमें भी डर है कि हम भी तो हमारा भी घर गिर सकता है, हमें भी डर है, इसलिए हम यहाँ पर आए हैं।
ऐसे में बताइए कि आपके आस पड़ोस के लोग भी क्या यहाँ से चले गए, काम धंधा नहीं मिला? और
नहीं मिला और चले गया। हाँ, काम का नजबल वजह से, रहने का दिक्कत से चला गया। मकान सब गिर रहा है, इसलिए बहुत दिक्कत है।
आदमी के जाने का सिलसिला अभी भी जारी है? अभी भी जाहिर है?
हाँ जी। एक्चुअली हम लोग यहाँ ना 20 साल से रहते हैं।
20 साल।
अभी जुलाई अगस्त में ना मौसम खराब के कारण ना हम लोग का घर भी गिर गया कृष्णनगर में, जो धारा था वो भी गिर गया। सरकार की तरफ से कुछ हेल्प हुआ है, 2500 मिला हम लोग को, बाकी मिलेगा नहीं मिला कोई विश्वास नहीं।
और लोग जो गए हैं गाँव घर लौट गए?
वो चले गए घर, कुछ चले।
कितना रहा होगा आपके आसपास में?
आसपास में कम से कम 50 बंदे गए हैं अभी।
50 बंदे। और जा भी रहे हैं? जा भी रहे हैं। काम कुम नहीं हो रहा है इस वजह से, और चारों तरफ भूस्खलन आ रही है ना, उसकी वजह से काम कुम नहीं हो रहा।
रोजाना जब काम होता था तो 1000-1500 कमा लेते, लेकिन आज कोई डेट में तो ऐसा है कभी एक राउंड लगता है, कभी 2 राउंड।
तो एक राउंड 2 राउंड में कितना रुपया?
100-200
बस। तो आप देखिए, सब पे असर है, आप लोगों पे भी असर?
बहुत असर है, बहुत दिक्कत हो रही है हमें। यानी कि जो 800 रुपये इनका खर्चा है घोड़े का, वो नहीं पूरा हो पा रहा था, हमने क्या खाना है।
NDTV's Parimal there reporting from Shimla. Let's focus now on the political news. And after its electoral success in Karnataka, the Congress trying to use the same formula in Madhya Pradesh, appeared offering freebies to corruption charges like 50% commission charge against the government. The party is determined to make a comeback in Madhya Pradesh, but the ruling BJP has also changed its strategy and is already in hyper-election mode even before the state election dates have been announced.
महिलाओं को 1500 रुपए प्रति माह दिलवाया जाएगा। गैस का सिलेंडर 1000 रुपए का नहीं, 500 रुपए का आपको मिलेगा। आपके लिए 100 यूनिट बिजली माफ होंगे, सबके लिए 200 यूनिट बिजली बिल माफ होगी। मतलब अभी हम मध्य प्रदेश में नहीं पुराना पेंशन लागू करेंगे। जो किसान
Now the Congress's 5 guarantees in Madhya Pradesh, clearly repeating the game plan that worked so well for them in Karnataka. As the first step, the Karnataka Congress in charge, Randeep Surjewala, is now in charge of Madhya Pradesh. Congress strategist in Karnataka, Sunil Kanugolu, has been given the job in MP. In Karnataka, the Congress accused the previous government of pocketing a 40% commission on each contract. In Madhya Pradesh, they will accuse the BJP of taking a 50% commission.
कुंभ मेले के अंदर वहाँ भ्रष्टाचार हुआ, सिंहस्थ मेला यहाँ हुआ, यहाँ भ्रष्टाचार हुआ, महाकाल के मंदिर का निर्माण हुआ, यहाँ भ्रष्टाचार हुआ. कहाँ भ्रष्टाचार नहीं किया लोगों ने? अगर सही पूछो तो कर्नाटक के मुख्यमंत्री मिस्टर 40% थे, तो मिस्टर 50% है.
मिस्टर बंटाढार और मिस्टर करप्टनाथ जी, मध्य प्रदेश की जनता को आपने ये पत्र, झूठा पत्र जारी करके जो गुमराह करने का प्रयास किया है, इसका जवाब ही नहीं मिलेगा. इसका कड़ा जवाब मिलेगा और एक एक कार्यकर्ता इसका जवाब देगा और प्रियंका गांधी को भी इसका जवाब देना पड़ेगा.
The BJP has for the first time announced its candidates even before poll dates have been announced, putting up 39 names for MP.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी पूरी तरह से मैदान में है. युद्ध स्तर पर हमारी तैयारियां चल रही है. कांग्रेस कह रही थी कि 1 साल पहले उम्मीदवार घोषित करेंगे, 6 महीने पहले उम्मीदवार घोषित करेंगे, लेकिन भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने तो अपने उम्मीदवार के घोषित कर दिए. हमारे सेनापति अब मैदान में हैं.
Meetings are being held at the divisional level. 230 MLAs will come from Gujarat, Maharashtra, UP and Bihar from Friday. These MLAs will tour all 230 constituencies for 7 days. 1 day special training will be given to all the MLAs in Bhopal. They will compile reports on MLAs and aspirants. They will assess if there's factionalism in the party.
The Congress feels that the Karnataka results have proved that the BJP is not invincible. The challenge is to build on that sentiment, wherein the BJP is trying hard to offset the anti-incumbency. In Bhopal, with camera person Rizwan Khan and Anurag Dwari for NDTV.
Meanwhile, the newly appointed Congress party chief in Uttar Pradesh, Ajay Rai, has made 2 big claims today, saying that Rahul Gandhi will definitely contest from Amethi in 2024. And on speculation regarding Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, he said that she will contest from wherever she wants, and if she wants to contest from Varanasi against Prime Minister Modi, that every Congress worker will work to ensure her victory.
बिल्कुल राहुल गांधी अमेठी से लड़ेंगे. अमेठी के लोग यहाँ आए हैं और जहाँ से प्रियंका गांधी जी की इच्छा बनारस अगर होगी, हमारा एक एक कार्यकर्ता उनके लिए जान लड़ा देगा. अब स्मृति ईरानी खुदे बौखला गई हैं. 13 रुपए किलो में चीनी दिलवा रही थी, दिलवा पाई? उनसे पूछिए. 13 रुपए किलो में हमारे लोग आए अमेठी के, उनसे पूछिए. कहा था कि 13 रुपया में आपको चीनी मिलेगा और कमल का बटन दबाइए. वो 13 रुपए का चीनी कहाँ गया? जनता को जवाब दे. अरे 24 में दिखाई देगा और हर चुनाव आप देखिएगा कांग्रेस पार्टी का परचम लहराएंगे, आपसे वादा करते हैं.
Now, a special report from Jammu and Kashmir, which is facing a massive drug epidemic as drugs are being brought in from Pakistan, are being used to fund terrorism. But with more and more addicts in the region, the police is saying that this is a bigger challenge than terrorism right now. NDTV's Nazir reports.
A 22-year-old auto driver from Jammu and Kashmir's Pulwama has finally overcome his drug addiction. 2 years of heroin addiction had shattered his life and his family. Now, after a year at Srinagar's de-addiction center, he is hoping to rebuild his life. He has bitter memories of young people, including children, being lured into taking drugs that came from across the border, feeding an epidemic in Kashmir.
तो आप कहते हैं आप ये छोटे बच्चों को फंसाते हैं, उनको ड्रग करवाते हैं. तो आप कितने पैसे कहाँ लाते थे जो आप हीरोइन खरीदते थे, फिर उसको इंजेक्टेबल
drug smuggling from Pakistan has become a major challenge for the government here. The police say drug money is being used to fund terrorism in Kashmir. Despite a massive offensive against drug smuggling, the number of addicts is showing a massive increase. At this drug de-addiction center alone, doctors say over the last 5 years, the number of patients has gone up from 5 to more than 150 a day.
5-6 साल पहले हमारे पास जो पेशेंट्स आते थे वो 5-6 होते थे। अब क्या हुआ, अब हमें अलग से ओपीडी करनी पड़ रही है और हमारा जो पेशेंट लोड है, डेली पेशेंट लोड 150 to 170।
किस तरह के ड्रग्स इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं?
ज़्यादातर जो हमारे पास पेशेंट्स आते हैं वो इंजेक्शन हेरोइन यूज़ करते हैं।
हेरोइन तो सबसे खतरनाक।
In the last 1 year, Jammu and Kashmir police have arrested more than 2,700 drug peddlers and filed 1,850 FIRs. Police say drugs are now a bigger challenge than terrorism.
आज मिलिटेंसी की चुनौती उतनी बड़ी नहीं है जितनी बड़ी चुनौती ड्रग्स की है। आज अगर संभले नहीं तो कल को बच्चे इस लायक होंगे नहीं।
The first sensational lead of drug money being routed to fund terrorism came in March 2021 after the NIA unearthed a drug syndicate in Kashmir. The investigation led to the arrest of a BSF officer posted near LOC. NIA found 91 lakh rupees at the house of a BSF officer in Samba district, which was allegedly meant to fund terrorists of LASHKAR and HIZBUL Mujahideen.
It is drug pandemic in Kashmir and problem is getting worse by the day. For the last 1 year, police have intensified their operations against drug trafficking and drug abuse in Kashmir as they believe that drugs coming from Pakistan are more serious challenge than militancy. In Srinagar, Nazir Masoodi for NDTV.
Today, ISRO successfully completed the deboosting maneuver with Chandrayaan 3's Vikram lander, bringing it a much tighter and closer orbit around the moon. This strategic positioning serves as the starting point for the anticipated soft landing that will take place next week on the 23rd of August. ISRO also shared this video of the moon taken by the Vikram lander, which shows the moon craters and Earth in the background. Now, a special report from Bengaluru and move over. Ola and Uber Namma Yatri app is here. The homegrown Namma Yatri app, spearheaded by the Auto Rickshaw Drivers Union and Just Pay Technologies. It is a win-win for the customer and driver.
In the Ola and Uber world, the homegrown Namma Yatri app, spearheaded by the Auto Rickshaw Drivers Union and Just Pay Technologies, aims to challenge the corporate giants and their rules of business and commissions. Its selling mantra is that passengers will pay less, but the drivers still earn more as it cuts out the commission for the aggregator. Namma Yatri also aims to encourage women drivers like Naga-Lakshmi, a single parent who drives an auto rickshaw for a living.
When I came out for a ride, I feel like manly. I can manage everything. I have some more difficulties also. Now it's very good only because I am earning monthly 15,000, but now I am earning more than 30.
The app was built using an open source platform and became home to around 17% of the 4.28 lakh auto trips clocked by ride-hailing apps in the city. Namma Yatri took a special initiative to train 50 women to ride EV autos.
I'm really proud of do this work, and women also we are do easily in this work and ironing money also. We are saving more iron money.
While commissions are the core of Uber and Ola apps, in some cases they charge up to 30% per ride. Namma Yatri puts the entire amount into the driver's pocket and has introduced a subscription fee of 25 rupees a day to run the show.
The government mandated meter pricing, which is 15 rupees per kilometer with a minimum of 30 rupees. However, this pricing works only from the place where we are picked up, right? And drivers have to travel, from certain distance to come and pick you up. So 10 rupees is added in addition to the meter charges. In addition, government also allows for up to 10 to 15% of markup on top of the meter pricing, which we leave it to drivers and customers.
Mugiran himself logged around 200 rides to understand how drivers can earn money keeping Bengaluru traffic in mind. Thanks to this open source technology, auto drivers have now come up with another app called Metro Mitra in collaboration with Namma Metro.
With Metro Mitra, you need to be in a metro zone for you to book both metro tickets as well as hail an auto rickshaw ride. But here I am at Rameshwaram Cafe in Rajajinagar and I need to get to Malleshwaram. Well, why worry when you have Namma Yatri? You don't have to go auto. All you need is the app on your phone. I pay 40 rupees to get to Malleshwaram from here and all of that 40 rupees goes to the auto rickshaw driver. Yes, sir. Oh, with camera person Govind, Pratibha Raman in Bengaluru for NDTV.
Now, as fundamentals continue to weaken for China's economy, Sakshi Bajaj decodes China's economic mess and its global impact.
China's economic mess only seems to be getting messier. So first, what are the top 10 reasons for this mess? Number 1, China's debt dilemma. As per experts, Beijing is caught between rolling out more stimulus to prop up the Chinese economy or pulling back government incentives that fuel the real estate bubble and risking a deeper economic slowdown that could create social unrest. Now, plunging sales of new homes and the reported cancellation of a share placement by China's biggest property developer highlight the depth of the country's real estate crisis altogether. And China's retail sales, industrial output and investments consistently disappointing, with growth coming in at a much slower pace than anticipated, also add to the concerns. And believe it or not, as per reports, Chinese consumers have cut back on spending on almost everything. Some analysts believe China's weak demand can be attributed to its relatively contained demand-side stimulus during COVID and of course years of regulatory tightening altogether. Now, slowing domestic spending has weighed on China's post-COVID economic recovery and China has slipped into deflation as consumer prices contracted for the first time in over 2 years. Remember, China is the first G20 economy to report a year-on-year decline in consumer prices since Japan in August 2021. So is this then China's Japanification moment is what is being asked. Now, some economists believe this could be China's lost decade like Japan's from 1991 to 2001, while some others remain cautiously optimistic going forward. Even as Beijing's financial woes continue to mount with a sell-off in Chinese assets gaining momentum and the yuan hitting a 16-year low against the US dollar. So is China's economic collapse becoming a bigger problem for US investment banks altogether? Well, some economists believe no one ever wants to bet on a sinking ship. And lastly, fertility rate is estimated to have dropped to a record low in China, and analysts believe this will rattle authorities as they try to boost the country's declining number of new births, employment and the overall economic condition in China altogether. And for those wondering how will this impact India and the rest of the world, well, experts believe international trade could witness monumental changes in times to come. Sakshi Bajaj for NDTV.